Dakika 21 baada ya saa 12 Afrika Mashariki umeshuhudia utamu mwenyewe kabisa hapa. Tumekuandalia pitayo ukaona na kimwafua mnofu taratibu kumaanisha kwamba ukulima pana utamu.
All right, thank you so very much for choosing to stay with us. And in case you're just joining us, welcome to Kenya's Gold, where the focus today is on dragon fruit farming. And to shed more light on that sector, we have the privilege of being joined by Dr. Monica Mukami-Waiganjo, who is a horticultural crops research specialist and also a practicing farmer. Thank you so very much for making time to be with us today. Now, just before we even get to the technical bit of it, why is the dragon fruit so expensive? You got one at like 500, 700. Why?
I think dragon fruit deserves to be expensive. First, because of its health benefits. Secondly, because of its scarcity. If we think of Kenya, how many farmers are in it in a commercial manner? So that scarcity has caused the price rising up.
Right.
Yes.
Namna umesema kupatikana si rahisi, si ndio? Tangu itambulishwe katika taifa la Kenya, mapokeo yake yakoje?
In fact, it came to Kenya, say like 5 years ago. And now it has become very popular because of people realizing its benefits. Yet, we don't have many people growing it, but those who are growing it are actually finding it a worth crop to keep increasing. So you find the people who have already started growing are the ones who are increasing. And that is very good because they are also exploring other markets, like export markets already. We are exporting this fruit. And the local market is being wider and wider. Initially, you would only find it in high-end supermarkets.
Right.
Today, you can find it even kwa soko. So actually, people are realizing its importance and also embracing it as a good fruit. Yes.
Now, as much as we do not have a lot of farmers embracing dragon fruit farming yet, is it because they lack the awareness, or there's something about maybe production, the cost of production, that makes them scare away from getting into that business? What would you say?
All you have said is true. One, they don't have the awareness.
Okay.
You know, like now, if I start asking people, how many have seen even a dragon fruit? How many have eaten it? Very few. The second thing is that they don't know how to grow it, because there is nobody who is really coming out to tell them how to do it. The research on this crop has not really been done. So we don't have a reference point. It's just a few of us, say like I have been doing pamphlets and also in exhibitions telling them about it, but we are not very many.
Okay.
The third thing, which you've also mentioned, the initial cost of dragon fruit production is not very cheap, because you need the posts. I have seen even in your topics, you are showing the posts, and we recommend those posts, the concrete posts. How many farmers will afford that concrete post? And it's the best because this is a long-term crop. It can stay for even 50 years, even 60 years. So if you do it with wood, in a short while, the wood will be eaten by termites, or it will decay out of the irrigation water. Okay. So the cost of production is high, and also the seedlings. Because few people have it, you always hear that the seedling cost is ranging from 500 to 100 to 1,000 per seedling. So how many farmers will afford that? So all those factors, but more importantly, the one of lack of knowledge.
All right.
Tufanye nini ili tuhakikishe kwamba tunarejesha ama tunawafunza wale wakulima katika taifa la Kenya ili nao wanufaike namna wewe ulivyonufaika? Tufanye nini?
We need to increase awareness. The research institutions need to take it up so that they can tell us what do we need to do on even the spacings, what do we need to do to control the few diseases and few pests that might come. Because right now we have minimal pests of this fruit. But we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So we need to prepare ourselves in the research institutions and even in the Ministry of Agriculture to fund the projects that point to dragon fruit production.
Right. Now, when we're talking about the propagation of the dragon fruit, there's a farmer who can use the seeds, there's the cuttings, tissue culture. Please advise us, if I want to go the commercial way, which is the best way to propagate, and if I just want to also grow back at home for my own, nutrients at home and my family, which is the best way to go about it?
Whether you want to grow it commercially or for your domestic use, the rooted cuttings is the best method.
All right.
First, because it is quick. In between 2 years or 1 to 2 years, depending on where you are growing it, you are likely to have a fruit. Again, you can be able now to control how you are doing it, maybe in a bucket, if you are just doing it in a homestead, or you do it in the farm using those rooted seedlings.
All right.
But more importantly, get clean material, which probably from a certified nursery, so that you can also be able to trace your crop, because it may be something different from dragon fruit, but because it's a cactus, somebody can tell you this can go for a dragon fruit.
Sasa unavyozungumza vile vile umetaja kuhusiana na mbegu.
Yes.
Kuna mkulima anakusikiliza, anashangaa atapata wapi mbegu ili aanze naye.
Okay, we do have many nurseries. I'm also the CEO of Sungreen Harvest Nursery, that is in Kithimani, and we do propagate. I know there could be others, but it would be good to get from somebody who can also show you or have information on how you are going to manage your crop. Yes.
You've mentioned something on the need to have research institutions work very closely with the farmers if you're to spread awareness on dragon fruit farming. You come from that background.
Yes.
From where you sit, do you think our agricultural research institutions are equipped, are empowered enough to be up to date with what is happening in the agricultural sector, and also just to give farmers real-time update on modern way of doing things? Are we empowering them enough?
Well, as usual, the research in Kenya has not been very well funded.
All right.
That is one bottleneck. The other thing I can say, we are not late, because this is a new crop that has come into the country. From where I come, that is Karo, where I retired in October 2022, we had already started doing some exploration of this crop. And I believe that because of its importance, somebody somewhere will probably write a grant-winning proposal and do some work on this crop.
All right.
Yes.
Sasa vile vile umezungumzia mambo ya spacing.
Yes. Yes.
Sasa mkulima atataka kuhitajika kuwa na kiwango kipi cha shamba, na vile vile anapozingatia masuala ya upana baina ya ule utengano baina ya mbegu moja na mwingine?
Okay, I'm happy to answer that, because I was a resource person in a World Bank funded project, that is NAFSIP, where we wrote the national strategy for dragon fruits. And we felt that a half an acre can be economically viable. It can give you returns that would warrant that shamba being used for that crop. Now, when it comes to spacing, because not so many people have grown it here and no research has yet been done on the spacing, we are just practicing and thinking, what do we need to do? For example, I am telling people, can we do 2.5 instead of 3 meters? And then for the between rows, you can use the 3 meters and do some intercropping because of our small shambas. But when you read in the internet, if you go to China and those other countries, you find that they are recommending 3 by 3 meters. That is 3 meters between the plants and 3 meters between the rows, mainly because their agriculture is highly mechanized. They will probably pass on a tractor which will fit in not in anything less than 3 meters. But how many people here do have such mechanization? So I'm feeling it's logical that we do a lesser spacing than 3 meters by 3 meters.
All right, so as we wind up this conversation, maybe very quickly, do we have potential with dragon fruit farming in Kenya? Because we are known to export certain fruits and we are known to be very big with things like avocado. But with our climate, our soils, our expertise, do you think we can reach a level where dragon fruit is best